We have quite something to follow. We have ostensibly said we are offering soul therapy, transmuting resistance and opposition to the divine plan within nations. And this we certainly recognize is most needed. I'd like to just touch on the words that Uta Gabi mentioned this morning, that we are involved in a process of unification, where love and will unite. Between us, myself, Deborah, Lirita of the Wisdom Group, we would like to offer what we believe is a practical means of responding, an application of the wisdom that is now available to us as we take into consideration and observation that which has been presented to us today. I'm going to pop something up on the screen for us to reflect upon. As I offer this reflection, as we look out upon our world today, we see oppositions, forces in opposition, arrayed against the soul of humanity. We acknowledge this. But as we look with the eyes of the heart and of the soul out upon each other in this circle, we see a oneness, a willingness, more than an aspiration, to the reality. We are one. Let us just observe this subtle shift of identity, this movement, this contrast, and what lies in between. With your interest and permission, I invite you to go deeper into this inquiry and together to experience the beginnings of a much needed transformation. Let us briefly align together as a group with the soul of Europe as that one, and with her Davic counterpart, her creative life and intelligence. Let us all make our lower alignment as we have done today. Relax the physical. Become calm and serene. And bring the mind to stillness. Integrating the threefold instrument of oneself, and as a collective group, receptive to soul impression, and focused within the etheric body of humanity. Move back upon a line of light into the heart center in the head. and visualize a small golden sun of consciousness everywhere present. Feel the earth beneath you, your connection with all living beings, nurtured and sustained by the earth. Align upward now to the heart of the ashram, to the hierarchy, and to the Christ. Identify with and as the soul of humanity, and with the overshadowing spiritual soul of Europe. Observe again this subtle shift in identity from the I of many individuals and nations to we as the one soul of a one people of this continent we call Europe. Align upward to Shambhala and to spiritual will, purpose. And downward to the Davic life of the kingdoms of nature, to the sacred and spiritual places that bring this continent alive. Please relax the attention and return to normal focus. So I'd just like to share a few thoughts about transmutation and then invite my colleagues, Deborah and Lirita, to follow up. So what are we speaking about when we refer to transmutation, soul therapy? Transmutation or spiritual alchemy is a science based upon divine facts in nature, which we as conscious souls can learn and apply to the betterment of our world. Transmutation, sometimes referred to as soul therapy, is defined as a process whereby the consciousness is liberated from and shifted from a lower to a higher point of focus or identity. The wisdom teaching provides techniques for transmutation that can be applied by the consciousness of a disciple to treat a particular condition arising in the experience of an individual a group, or a nation, a kingdom of nature, including humanity as a whole. By internalizing the energy and forces appearing as opposing forces, appearing as the pairs of opposites, by internalizing this opposition, the shadow can begin to be integrated by the conscious soul incarnate. Patterns of subconscious reactions and automatic responses relating to the third aspect of intelligent substance are repolarized with soul purpose relating to the first aspect, and the whole as the sum of all relationships, the second aspect, infused with love, wisdom, soul consciousness in right relationship. Consciousness will then be released from former conditions to create new healthy attitudes, patterns of response, and outcomes reflecting the divine plan into appearance. Now, the practice which we are going to participate in and share with you together is in 3 simple steps. And the first one we are, to a certain extent, familiar with: observation. We identify as the group soul. We contemplate an existing condition. We discern the causative forces at play and seek to recognize the true needs, the practical and spiritual needs of the people. Now, it was Philip, just the other day, if I can quote you, Philip, who said, "Each one of us is a microcosm of our nations." Let us take that on board as a certain resonance of truth. And let us also consider that the soul of Europe is much more than the geographical footprint. It is the sum of all the relationships. So then, let us consider that identification, is movable. It is the soul of anything: personality, regions, nations. And that we can move into oneness as that soul. And as we do so, we can then observe a condition of separateness and begin to internalize this as the life of that one soul. And what does this imply? It implies that we are taking a measure of responsibility, of accepting not only our personal and group karma, but the karma of the larger relationships. And that substance which we can then respond to within the life of the one soul. Over to you, Deborah.
Thank you, Jonathan. So the first step that will summarize what Jonathan said can be encased in the statement or the affirmation: I identify as the observer, as the overshadowing spiritual soul, at one with all the relationships within a condition, I stand free, observing only. So that's step one, assuming the attitude of the divine observer. Step two of this transmutation technique. So we've already identified as the group soul, we've identified as the divine observer of the conditions, we have identified, and this is so important, the true needs. The true needs are hidden within the pairs of opposites. We need to unpack the true needs. So at this point, still identified as the group soul at the midway point, we accept responsibility for these conditions as substance belonging to our own subconscious. We take responsibility for the condition we see as if it were within our own aura, in our own subconscious, which it is. So as substance, now within our consciousness, that we can consciously repolarize that substance to become receptive to the positive pole of spirit. So we recognize that all the stories, all the grievances, all the histories found by the and put forward and formed by the lower mind that have served us in the past. There's constantly running narratives in the background, like a computer program running in the background, these narratives in the background of our mind, they are subconscious. They are habitual. They are not conscious or causative. They are not what is called to serve humanity now. So recognizing this and taking ownership of our own subconscious as it manifests out in the world, we establish then the perfect alignment between spirit and matter within the field of consciousness. With this alignment, we can, as a group soul, impress divine purpose upon the newly receptive form to draw the appearance into an intelligent reflection of the divine plan. We invoke in this process, we invoke and surrender to the light of the Christ as it descends into the condition. As that light descends into the condition, it carries with it all the overshadowing solutions that exist in that overlighting rain cloud of knowable things. We stand free, observing only. And I'll turn it over to Lirita for step 3.
Hi, everybody. My goal was to speak about the mechanism itself of this particular transmutation technique. I see it as an alchemical device, really, for initiates and disciples for the 21st century. As disciples or initiates, we are agents of transmutation within the periphery of the fifth kingdom, in service to the planetary logos. Our job is to transmute what we recognize as an aspect of the persona needing growth or transmutation. transformation. With a goal of evolutionary development, we, in concert with the fifth kingdom, transform through transmutation ourselves on a persona level, or a group that we are a part of or that we are witnessing, and we notice that they are no longer in alignment with their particular mission, vision, purpose, or a country that's off center, or even a continent ready for its next level of manifestation for the Aquarian age. And at this point in time, I think we're all finding in our own homelands that we are all at this point of evolutionary change. We, humanity, as the synthetic kingdom in nature, can transmute and help liberate our human family, and as a result, our planetary logos. It's our responsibility. It's our duty. This transmutation technique synthesizes all 7 phases of what we know as the alchemical process outlined in the Emerald Tablets: calcination, dissolution, separation, conjunction, putrefaction, fermentation, distillation, coagulation. And it's done synthetically, as I said originally, and it's in a very simple technique. That's really how powerful this technique is. But of course, don't take my word for it. We as a group offer this technique to you for testing. Test it out for a week or a 28-day cycle and notice what it is you are experiencing or what you experience in each meditation, internally and externally. The technique in itself, in its simplicity, does not really need you to believe in it in order to do it. You don't have to trust it. Test it. The choice
Thank
is
you,
yours.
Verita.
The choice is yours. Do I have no more time?
Well, I think we need to be timely. I'm not too sure, but
Okay.
we want to run the meditation too in a moment.
Jonathan, can I just say that because we started late, you guys can go into the break by 5-10 minutes if you want.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Excellent. This particular technique then uses all 3 of the fires. The soul fire by friction, of course, when you're looking at the polar opposites. Solar fire, when you're dealing with the aspect of consciousness, or the second aspect. And electrical fire, through the polarization with divine will, or first aspect. It uses, through the second aspect, the divine solvent, the blue-white light of the Christ, which liberates the consciousness from the old form, giving birth to a new unity. And an added solvent through that second aspect of washing whatever it is we see come up with just pure love, without any reaction, staying neutral, observing only, detached, but then bathing the situation with love. DK says, remember, in this process, and I think it's important to state, and this is my last point, that we're not focused on the form of Europe. We're focused solely on the illumination of the soul of Europe, in this particular case, as we're using it for. The soul is our focus. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lirita. So let us prepare for a meditation together, and we have been given so much material, such contrasts to work with. And let us all, as we participate in this meditation for transmutation, together invoke that precipitation of pure reason, of Christ's love, wisdom, on behalf of humanity.
Please prepare for meditation. Establish the lower alignment. And focus the consciousness in the Ajna center. Integrating the threefold instrument into a unit receptive to soul impress. Connect with each other and with the overall group. And hold one collective Ajna focus as a center in the etheric body of humanity. Move back upon a line of light into the cave, the heart center in the head. And identify as the consciousness of the one humanity. Via the head center, align with the overall group consciousness of the ashram and with the overshadowing Christ. Align with the three masters, Master M of the first ray, Master DK, second ray, and Master R, seventh ray. Within the blue-white sphere of the ashram of synthesis, and in salutation, we offer our intent and our love on behalf of humanity. Identify as the group conscious soul in the cave and integrate the threefold group's soul consciousness into a single unit in aspiration to the overshadowing Christ. As the observer in the cave, contemplate the appearance in the outer world of the condition in focus today. Seek to identify the underlying motives and forces at play and their effects. Recognizing the condition is a result of the working out of divine law and order. Visualize a line of light from the center of the sphere of blue-white Christ-light to the condition with which one is concerned. Establishing the perfect alignment between spirit and matter, and between purpose and appearance. Become receptive to the divine plan and to divine purpose. As the group conscious soul, contemplate the true needs of the people, seeking solution. A new synthesis and a receptive expression from within humanity. Hold in your awareness the need as an intent or a principle for the coming moments. As the group consciousness in the cave, visualize a triangle of light between the overshadowing group soul within the ashram, the group consciousness as the observer in the cave, the subconscious life of humanity, the lower third point of the triangle. From your focus in the cave, visualize a line of light upward in frequency to the overshadowing spiritual soul of the overall group life. Recognizing the existence of the subconscious world, visualize a line of golden light moving down and outward in frequency into the subconscious world of one's emotional and mental bodies, and back upward to the overshadowing spiritual soul in the ashram. Completing a triangle of light, connecting the overshadowing spiritual soul, the incarnate soul, the observer in the cave, and via the ajna to the subconscious world. Retaining awareness of the one overshadowing spiritual soul above, the center of consciousness within the cave, and observing the movement of light down into the world of the persona and back up to the ashram. Repeat slowly and carefully. The light of the Christ is thrown downward into the group instrument to reveal, cleanse, and purify that which is karmically ready to be brought to light in divine law and order. I stand clear, observing only. Hold this note for 3 minutes and simply observe whatever is revealed from your point of awareness in the Ajna center. Very shortly, you will become aware of a mental attitude or an emotion or even a situation. As you observe and seek out the root of this emotion, you will see how it once became a part of your subconscious and the part it has played in humanity's life and affairs. Transmute whatever negativity is revealed into its polar opposite via the application of love. Invoke and project divine love to yourself as you were when you received an initial impact, and awareness that created the unconscious patterns of negativity. Invoke and project divine love to those involved in making that initial impact and its experience. Invoke and project divine love to the original situation. and invoke and project divine love to all persons everywhere who participate in activities affecting humanity in similar ways. Meditate on the concept. The truth now frees humanity. Spend a few moments radiating the light of truth through the group instrument. And out into the hearts and minds of humanity. Visualize the whole as surrounded by pure, protective, blue-white light of the Christ. We dedicate all wisdom gathered over lifetimes to the overshadowing soul of humanity and to the Logos, our Father. Audibly sound the Om. Om.